Ranak everybody. Today we continue talking about Ansys and about Ansys Discovery, but we talk about simplification of real geometry. So first of all, we need to add to geometry. We simply drag and drop it from a Windows folder, and that's first problem that we will have. Both objects have analogical name, geometry and geometry. Yep, if we click here and open properties, we will see that first of all it's a Lego STP file, and second it's a tripod STP. So in this manner we can different geometry object, but sometimes it can be tricky. So for my thoughts, it would be better if we have the name of this geometry file here, not text geometry, but text Lego STP, for example, or tripod STP. Not full path, but the name of file. Okay, we add two step files. Today we will work only with first one. So we take a static structural and we place it here on a geometry. It creates a static structural object which linked by geometry. Let's open mechanical model and let's create default mesh to see how big or small it will be, and what type of mesh we will get, what quality of this mesh, and so on. After that, we open this geometry, do some changes, and see what effect it will give to us. Okay, we open geometry. We need some time. Okay, here it is. It's our geometry. It's Lego skeleton of Lego man, something like that. As I said previously, you can find this model on a GrabCAD site. So, or you can came to our Patreon and find link to this model and a lot of other helpful things. So we have this geometry. Please remember this color because it's very important, but we will return to this moment of colors later. So you can change time on a video player, on YouTube video player, look color scheme, and then look new scheme when it appear. So right mouse button click on a mesh and generate mesh. We see that different objects in one moment change this color to green, so it means that we use several cores of our processor to create mesh, and different bodies use different core to create mesh. We have mesh something like that, and mesh, okay, we do mesh, what's problem? We can do calculation and so on, but not so good as we want. First of all, we take a look to statistics. We have almost 100 of nodes and 53,000 of elements. 100 of 1000 nodes and half hundred of 1000 elements. Also, we can take a look here and see how mesh look like, and it looks strange. Also, we can see here and see that our mesh try to create small elements on all rounds, on all fillets, on all chamfers small, on all small object, you see, and that's why it look something like that. We can check geometry, home, worksheet, and we can see how many nodes and elements we get on any body that we have. And also we can choose mesh, we can choose mesh tab, and here we can change mesh metric graphics and appear those graph. Just a moment. Here our graph look like, and as we see, this is good mesh. Sorry, green. This is good mesh. This is mesh with the middle quality, and this is not very good mesh, and this is mesh very bad. So something like that. And we see that our mesh are not very high in quality. Yep, we can change some preferences and obtain better mesh, but in reason that we have not very good mesh with default settings, and in reasons that we have a lot of small features, we can obtain good mesh only if we create much more nodes and elements than we see here. So additionally, I want to show this object, and we can see how it look like. Take a look here and here. So something like that. Let's do some changes and see what effect it gives to us. Okay. First of all, we double click on geometry and we start our Ansys CAD, which we have by default. My default is Ansys Discovery, so I start Discovery. In Space Claim you will obtain something like that, but process of creation and result can be different between Space Claim and Discovery, because they use different kernel, geometric kernel. So sometimes it works not fully the same. Okay. We need to wait some time, sorry. And another time. And another time, sorry. as I say in previous video, the main things that need to learn people who want to work with CIE and FEAR, finite element analysis and computer-aided engineering, it's to be patient. So we obtain those geometry, and let's do some changes. First of all, we select those fillet, those round, and we can delete it. But it's very tricky to delete all this object by one. So in space claim and in discovery there are processes to simplify this process with power selection. In discovery we need to click here, face, power select, and for example we can click here and it selects all rounds on our object, but we have a lot of the same fillets but on other object, and we can click on search all bodies, refresh button, it recalculate, it needs some time, and we can select all rounds on all bodies and we can delete them. Be careful with this automatical tool, because sometimes it gives not the proper result. We will show it in the next video. But today it's very cool things. So only 2 click, oh, 3 click, and couple minutes, and we get a good result. Let's update our geometry. Remember those colors. And as you see, our colors are changed. And it's very important. This changing we see because all bodies have different numbers. A reason of this, because first body we import from step file, and now we import not from the step file, but from discovery. It's not it's not result of our deleting of those rounds and fillets. No, it's a simple reopening our model with discovery, and that's why it changed numbers for parts, numbers for bodies, and numbers for surface. It can be tricky, it can give some problem, we will show it later. But today it's not a problem because we show only mesh. And we create mesh, it creates much faster. Yep, we're done. We have 23.5 thousand of nodes and 12,000 of elements. We can see geometry worksheet, and we can see how all object, all body change number of elements and nodes by default. Okay, and we can see differences in our quality. we can see that in here we have less elements. So we do some battering and all this put here. So we have here much more elements than we have on the previous mesh in comparison, but we also have some problem. And why we have some problem? Because for example, we have small face here. We will change it. We have a problem with these elements. We have problem with these elements and so on. So let's do some additional changes. We return to our discovery. We select those faces. We select all rounds that equal. We see that we selected on all parts. We delete them. Sometimes it works good, sometimes it can leave some faces. So we need to add some work by hand. I say delete. Yep. It can delete. Okay. Something like that. Now reselect. Okay. Component, open component. Let's delete by our hand. So this one we don't need, hide. And we need to delete those faces. Let's do it by more simple way. Okay, now we can delete all those fillets. Close geometry. Do you need to delete all this object or not to delete? We talk on other video. We have some video about simplification process and things that we must to do, but it's another question. It's very deep question. It's very hard question. So we show only possibilities to do that. And if you need, you will know how to do it. Okay, and what it gives to you. We delete all our rounds. And also we have problem with this object, and this object doesn't give anything to structural stiffness, to some additional strength behavior and so on. So we can select this one. Search all bodies, we will unpick. We select face with the same area. We delete them. And we have some problems with those objects. We select them, delete, select this one, delete. Now we try to delete this one. It's also very simple. And even deleting this, because this is solid, it's not even addition to this geometry. Okay. And with those we will have some problems. Let's do select, delete, and nothing, delete, and nothing. Okay. Let's also select this one and this one. Delete. Bingo! So sometime we need to work in other way. Okay. Let's update geometry. Update geometry from source. Okay, we update. We see that our color scheme are not changed. And now we can create mesh, but we have small face here. And we need to improve it. And we have some problems on this surface, and I try to change it. What we can do, we can select model, on the top, and click on virtual topology. It creates here on outline new object. We select them and select those face, and those face, merge cell, and as you see it changed color and it hide both of these faces, and we have only one faces without this small one. And also we can do something like that here. We can select those object, we can say match cell, and it will create new surface. And we see what difference do we have here and here with different type of simplification. So generate mesh, it's almost have speed as flash, and look here, you see geometry, yep, this one, and look to geometry here and see those geometry. Okay, and you can see geometry here and here, and you can see the quality, and you see that we also change the numbers, and good elements with mid quality and with good quality are rise in percentage, and bad elements less than % here. And now we can do additional changes to create very good mesh, and our geometry will not affect this work. And also we see that we have only 13,500 of nodes and 6,000 of elements. So we change the number of nodes and elements in 10 times, in almost 10 times. Okay, something like that I want to show. No, and you can select worksheet and also see result, but it's not very important because we see that our quality of mesh and our number of nodes and elements are very changed, and we can do much better mesh with some simplification process. And Ansys Discovery, Ansys Space Claim, it's a very cool thing. It's a very cool tool for those simplification. If you want to see those simplification in design modeler, please write a comment. I don't want to do it, but we can repeat it if you will want. So we work with this geometry and you see result. And on the next video we work with more complex geometry, and we see how automatical deleting of all rounds, small objects and so on can affect geometry. And we will see how to do it in a proper way and how to obtain much better mesh for some cases. Because here we can obtain very good mesh, but something like that. We will show on a tripod some process of creating better mesh. If you want to see on this geometry and full process for tripod, write a comment and you will see it. Thanks and bye.